You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode number 206.1, our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana, with a little bit of major national sports news, anything that may be of interest to Central Indiana sports fans.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report. We are so happy that you have decided to make us a little part of your day. Today is March 16th, 2025. It's Selection Sunday, and it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I love Central Indiana sports, coming to you today from headquarters in Jeffersonville. Producer Susie is taking a nap. Coming up, we have all the scores from around the state in the IHSA Boys Basketball Regionals, lots of college basketball, and a big Pacers game in Milwaukee, plus lots of college baseball and softball results. Plus, Ball State's women are headed to the NCAA tournament, and Indiana Wesleyan's women are headed to the NAIA National Finals in Sioux City, Iowa. Before we get to all that, please do us a huge favor and go to YouTube, search Central Indiana Sports Report, and subscribe to our channel. We're starting to get more subscribers and viewers on YouTube. We appreciate that. We're looking to do even more, and starting this spring, hoping to do a lot more video stuff and keep figuring out the right formula for the Central Indiana Sports Report. Later Sunday, as soon as the semi-state pairings and locations are revealed, and as soon as I can get it done, we'll have our full boys basketball regional scoreboard show with details from the local game, scores from across the state, and of course the semi-state matchups. Also later Sunday, Grant Schaus will react to IU's NCAA fate, no matter whether it's in or out. And sometime Monday, we will have Grant Schaus back to break down the NCAA tournament field from a local perspective. Later this week, Grant Schaus, Michelle Garman, and I, or some combination thereof, will preview all of the semi-states around the state and pick all 24 games and all 8 champions that will play for state championships in Indy a couple weeks from now. Of course, we start Sunday's daily report with Saturday's IHSA regionals. We start in Class 4A, where Fishers beat Harrison 89-39 for their 41st consecutive win. Nathan Baker had 18 points and Justin Kelly 15 for the Balanced Tigers. Fishers enters a semi-state with opponents being Homestead, number 7 Crown Point, and number 13 South Bend Riley. The 4A North Regional will be played. All of the North Regionals will be played either at the Wolves Den in Michigan City, Northside Gym at Elkhart, the Crawley Center in Lafayette, or the Berry Bowl in Logansport. At South Bend, Washington, Riley won an absolute thriller in overtime over number 9 Warsaw, 77-71, behind perhaps the top performance of the day by any team in any regional. Tyrese Jones had 45 points and 10 rebounds in the win. It also took extra time for Crown Point to advance. The Bulldogs avenged one of their 2 regular season losses by beating Portage 68-62 in overtime at Michigan City. Dikembe Shaw had 27 points and 8 rebounds for Crown Point. And Homestead beat rival Carroll 42-39 at the Berry Bowl. The South 4A semi-state will feature number 6 Jeffersonville and number 10 Lawrence North as expected, plus Terre Haute North and a Mount Vernon team that looks like it could play the spoiler role against the Red Devils and or the Wildcats, depending on how the draw comes out. Funny note, every team in the 4A North semi-state, which will be played at Newcastle, Southport, Seymour, or Washington, all 4 teams have exactly 22 wins as of Sunday morning. 22-5 Mount Vernon blew past Brownsburg 74-70 at Southport for the program's 4th regional championship and first since 2013. Purdue commit Luke Ertl had 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists for the Marauders. Also at Southport, 22-6, Lawrence North had no trouble with Mooresville, 80-42. Lawrence North had 5 players in double figures and 7 with at least 6 points. 22-5, Jeffersonville likewise had no trouble getting into the semi-state round, beating Evansville Harrison 65-40 at Southridge. At the Hatchet House in Washington, Terre Haute North came from 15 points down with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go to force overtime and beat Whiteland 72-69 in double overtime for their first regional championship in 26 years. Mechaniqua and Delta advanced in the 3A North semi-state, both a little bit of a surprise. They'll be joined by East Chicago Central and South Bend St. Joseph at the semi-state. 18-7, Delta won its third straight regional. What an amazing job once again by Coach Detweiler. Not sure why I've ever doubted him. The Eagles outscored Blackhawk 19-8 in the third quarter and held on for a 45-43 victory at Chrysler Arena at Newcastle. 22-5, Mechaniqua beat Marion 78-72 at Lapel. It's the Braves' second regional title in program history. The last one came in 1999. Josiah Ball had 32 points for the Braves. Tim Jones, 26 for the Giants. At the Wolves' Den in Michigan City, East Chicago Central is 21-8 after beating Hanover Central 78-55. It's the first regional championship for the Cardinals since Etwan Moore helped them win a state championship in 2007. And defending semi-state champion and second-ranked South Bend St. Joseph returns to the semi-state after beating Columbia City 50-46 at South Bend, Washington. Defending semi-state champion St. Joseph is 25-3. The 4 teams at the 3A South semi-state are number 3 New Palestine, number 6 Crispus Attucks, number 8 Princeton, and number 4 and reigning 2A state champion Brownstown Central. Man, that's going to be a great semi-state. New Pal is 26-3 after beating number 5 Garin Catholic for the second time this season, 63-49 at Greenfield to win the program's first ever regional championship. Julius Giese was brilliant as always with 28 points. He was 7 for 10 from the field and 13 for 17 at the foul line. At Lebanon, 21-6, Attucks beat a good 24-win Northview team, 57-46. 25-2, Princeton ran through Jennings County, 61-48 at Southridge, the Tigers' first regional championship since 2009. And 25-2, Brownstown Central, even after losing All-State Jack Benter, who's now redshirting at Purdue, returns to the semi-state after beating Evansville Memorial 55-48 at the Hatchet House in Washington. In the 2A North semi-state, it'll be number 1 Wapahani, number 4 Manchester, number 6 Gary 21st Century, and upstart Jimtown. 27-1, Wapahani trailed almost the entire game. It looked like they were on the ropes before rallying to beat Western Boone 53-47 at Lapel. Nate Luce had 17 points, Camden Bell 12, and Eli Andrews 10 for the Raiders, who are, of course, the reigning semi-state champions. Manchester had little trouble beating Tipton 54-36 at the Berry Bowl and ending the brilliant career of the Blue Devils' Grady Carpenter. Gavin Betton, speaking of brilliant, had 20 points, 10 rebounds, 6 blocks, 5 assists, and 3 steals in the win. The Squire's first regional championship since 1994 under the great Mo Smedley. 21st Century is 21-6 after they won a battle of powerhouses, knocking off preseason number 1 and my pick to win the 2A state championship, Fort Wayne Lures, at North Judson. The final score was 61-46. And Jimtown upset Westview 56-40 at Triton for the Jimmy's first regional title since 2004 when they won a state championship in Class 2A. In the south of Class 2A, it'll be number 3 Park Heritage, number 11 Linton Stockton, and a couple of surprise regional champions in Forest Park and University will play for the semi-state championship on Saturday. 19-9 University took down Triton Central in a thriller 44-43 at Lebanon, giving Hamilton County 2 teams in the semi-state round. 20-6 Forest Park upset number 2 South Ripley 56-53 at Seymour. It's the Rangers' 3rd straight win by 3 or fewer points. It's also their 2nd straight regional title and 8th in the last 23 years. Linton Stockton won a game of 2A South Powers 38-32 over Providence at Lagodi. The score was 11-9 with Providence leading at halftime. The Miners' 5th regional title in the last 13 years. That is some serious Providence basketball right there. And Park Heritage held off Centerville 47-41 to return to the semi-state. It's the 3rd straight regional championship for the Wolves and their 4th in the last 5 years. Watch out for Centerville in the coming years. We are going to start Class A in the South. That's because that's where Liberty Christian won back-to-back regional championships and their 5th in the last 12 years. Now they'll look to win their first semi-state title since 2016, the year they won their Class A state championship. But they'll have to go through number 1 Clay City, number 2 Hauser, and number 4 Orleans to do it. Liberty had no trouble beating North Decatur 64-48 at Greenfield. Tywayne Fuller led a balanced Lions attack with 14 points. Hauser beat up on Indianapolis Lutheran 70-52 at Martinsville for the Jets' first regional championship in 19 years when they were state champions in 2006. At Lagodi, Clay City beat Northeast Du Bois for their first regional title in a decade. And Orleans beat 13th ranked Christian Academy and ended the great career of Joshua Renfro with a 56-47 victory at Seymour. Alex DeWitt scored 28 points to lead the Bulldogs. Number 3, Clinton Prairie looks like the favorite in the Class A North after knocking off Lafayette Central Catholic 58-55 in overtime at the Wiener Arena in Frankfort on Saturday. Just came up with that yesterday. It's just so good. They'll be joined at the semi-state by number 7 Couts, number 11 Triton, and Monroe Central. Clinton Prairie's win gives the Gophers their first regional championship in program history. Jake McGrew went over 2,000 points for his career on 2 free throws in overtime that helped the Gophers survive. What a day for Clinton Prairie. Monroe Central beat Daleville for the second time this season, 68-58 at Newcastle's Chrysler Arena to win the program's second regional championship and first in 15 years. The Couts Mustangs are regional champions for the third time in 5 years after beating Tri-County 56-45. And Triton beat Lakewood Park 63-40 for the Trojans' first regional championship in 12 years. Avery McFarland led Triton with 19 points. The gymnastics state finals were held at Worthen Arena in Muncie on Saturday. Fort Wayne Dwenger won its 6th state championship and first since 2012. Valparaiso was second, Angola third, Columbus North was fourth, defending state champion Crown Point finished fifth, New Palestine finished seventh, and Northwestern was eighth in the state, and the Tigers' first time ever competing at the state finals as a full team. Homestead's Julian Krieger is the all-around state champion, and she was the state champion on the bars, beating defending all-around state champion Megan Garibay of Valparaiso by 5/100ths of a point to win the all-around title. Dwenger's Avery Gleave and Mariah Sispansky were third and fourth in the all-around. Chesterton's Samantha Foster is the beam state champion, and Dwenger's Kobe Johnson won the floor state championship. Northwestern senior Taylor Schmidt, who also participated in the diving state finals. So 2 state finals in 1 season, actually 1 month, I think. Impressive. She finished 4th on the floor exercise, 8th on the bars, 20th on the beam, and 21st in the vault to finish 11th in the state overall. New Pal's Lynn Stiller was 15th in the all-around, and Alexis Hall was 20th. And the Dragons' Jillian Fee was 4th on the floor. Ball State's women are headed to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2009 after beating Toledo 65-58 in the MAC championship Saturday in Cleveland. After a poor first half, the Cardinals outscored Toledo 44-34 in the second half. Alex Richard led the charge with 28 points, going 13 for 21 from the field. She also had 9 rebounds, 4 of them on the offensive boards. It's the Cardinals' third NCAA appearance ever. We'll have Ball State's and IU's and Notre Dame's NCAA tournament paths and all the information that you'll possibly need on Monday's Daily Report. In the Big Ten tournament, it will be 18th ranked Wisconsin against number 22 Michigan for the championship Sunday at the Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Wisconsin beat number 7 and top-ranked Michigan State 77-74. And Trey Donaldson went coast to coast and scored with less than a second left to lift the Wolverines past Maryland 81-80 and an absolute semifinal classic. 15 more teams earned tickets to the NCAA tournament Saturday. Number one Duke beat Louisville 73-62 to win the ACC. Houston won the Big 12 by beating Arizona 72-64. Rick Pitino's St. John's Red Storm won the Big East by beating Creighton 82-66. Colorado State beat Boise State 69-56 to win the Mountain West. Bryant beat Maine 77-59 to win the American East. Norfolk State won the MEAC 66-65 over South Carolina State. Mount St. Mary's won the Metro Atlantic 63-49 over Iona. Liberty won the Conference USA Championship by beating Jacksonville State 79-67. Alabama State won the SWAC title 60-46 over Jackson State. UC San Diego, the Tritons, topped UC Irvine, the Anteaters, 75-61 to win the Big West. Grand Canyon won the WAC championship. They'll be playing the game online. 89-82 over Utah Valley. And Akron is the MAC champion after beating Miami 76-74 in Cleveland. In Sunday's championships, it'll be Yale versus Cornell in the Ivy League at noon. That's on ESPN2. Number 6 Tennessee and number 4 Florida in the SEC at 1 on ESPN. George Mason versus VCU in the A10 championship on CBS. A number 16 Memphis against UAB in the American at 3 on ESPN. And the last game is Wisconsin against Michigan at 3:30 on CBS for the Big Ten championship. In the NBA, Milwaukee beat the Pacers 126-119 to take a game advantage over Indiana in the Eastern Conference standings. The Pacers are now 37-29, a game behind the Bucks for 4th place in the Eastern Conference. It was a decent effort by the Pacers. They allowed way too many runs and too many easy baskets by the Bucks, but of course they do have Giannis, so that happens. He finished with 34 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 block shots. Aaron Nesmith had a career-high 30 points for the Pacers. He was 11 for 16 from the field and made 6 of his 7 three-point attempts. Pascal Siakam added 26 points. Tyrese Halliburton had 24 points, 15 assists, 6 rebounds, and 5 steals. But the Pacers allowed Milwaukee to shoot 54% from the field. The Bucks also made 25 of their 26 free throw attempts. That's hard to beat. Indiana Wesleyan's women advanced to the national finals in Sioux City, Iowa after beating Grandview, Iowa 71-60 in Saturday's regional championship in Marion. The Wildcats will play Georgetown, Kentucky Thursday or Friday this week in the national finals. Taylor Folkema led the 31-2 Wildcats with 19 points and 9 rebounds. Lily Frazier had 15 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and 3 steals in the win. Kevin Helfrich of the Action Sports Network will have full reports on the Wildcats Regional Championship and a preview of the NAIA Championship coming up in the next few days. He will also have a report on the Wildcats men's 88-74 loss to Life, Georgia in Saturday's regional final at Lucky Arena. Producer Susie is now up from her nap and producing. Luke Brown scored 24 points, going 9 for 14 from the field and 6 of 10 from deep in the loss. He, of course, is a Blackford graduate. Indiana Wesleyan season ends at 22-10. Taylor Baseball won its 15th and 16th straight game Saturday, winning 21-0 and 15-9 at Spring Arbor in a pair of Crossroads games. Mason David had 5 hits, including a couple of home runs and a double, and 8 RBIs on the day. The Trojans outscored Spring Arbor 71-13 in the 4-game series. Purdue is now 17-2 on the year after beating UIC 9-3 on Saturday. Logan Suter hit a grand slam in the Boilermakers' 8-run eighth inning. Ball State's MAC game against Toledo and Muncie was postponed Saturday. It'll be continued on Sunday before the originally scheduled game at noon. The Cardinals are 15-6 overall and 4-0 in the MAC. IU softball dropped its Big Ten opener 7-6 at home against Iowa Saturday. Iowa jumped out to a 5-0 lead. IU got within 7-6 after 6 innings on Taylor Minnick's home run, but couldn't score any more runs in the final 3 innings. Minnick had 2 RBIs and scored twice in the loss. Purdue fell to 0-2 in Los Angeles with a 2-1 loss to UCLA on Saturday. Kendall Bailey homered in the first inning for Purdue, and they didn't score again. Ball State is 2-1 in the MAC after winning the rubber match at Akron 7-2 on Saturday. Ella Whitney got the win for the 15-7 Cardinals. Anderson's games Saturday and Sunday, supposed to play 2 apiece, in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, were canceled due to poor weather. Ball State's men's volleyball team finished the Outrigger tournament in Honolulu with a big 5-set win over number 19 Penn State. The Cardinals won the first set 25-20, the third set 25-12, and the final and decisive fifth set 15-10. Raji Aline had 17 kills and Patrick Rogers 14 for Ball State. Notre Dame senior Jaden O'Brien won the pentathlon indoor national championship Saturday at the national finals at Virginia Beach. Ball State's Janelle Rogers was 7th and Purdue's Jalen Elrod was 8th. The Purdue men also had a successful weekend. Cameron Miller was 3rd in the 200 meters. Praise Annie Amaka was 5th in the triple jump, and the Boilermakers 4x400 relay team finished 10th. USC's men and Oregon's women were national champions. I've already mentioned a lot that's going on Sunday with the NCAA basketball and such. Also, Ohio State at IU series will finish today in baseball. IU took the first 2 Friday. That game is at 1 o'clock. And also, what's at 6 o'clock, producer Susie?
Brackets.
Yay, brackets. It's here. We will talk, of course, again to Grant Schaus about the NCAA tournament for the next 3 weeks. Just count on there being lots of those segments coming up. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. You want to say the end part here? Because it's in 3, 2, 1.
Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And Greg loves Susie.